All right, what's going on, good people? Look, this your man Ivan Toaster, man, here at Capital Area Human Services. Hey, look, welcome back to the area, man. Look, I know it's been a couple months, maybe 2 months. We fell off the map, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's my fault. I got a little busy, and yeah, we just kind of didn't have the podcast, so. But we back and we stronger than ever, man. And look, I got a special guest in the building today, Capital Area's own Mrs. Tammy
Belazaire.
I'm about to say, hold on, Miss Tammy, I don't know your last name.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm good.
Understood. So I'll tell you what, Miss Tammy, let you introduce yourself. So just let the people know who you are. Let us know even about your background for us, your credentials. And you are an employee here at Capital Area Human Services. Let us know what you do here. And just give us a little background on you.
Okay, well, good morning, Ivan.
Good
and
morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, my name is Tammy Belazaire. I have been working in this field since 1995, graduated from LSU, and literally graduated on a Friday, went to work on a Monday.
Come on, wow.
And hasn't looked back since. My majority of my career I spent in corrections. I did 22 years in the correctional field, which was quite a challenge. Of those 22 years, I did 13 in what we call the boot camp, which was called IMPACT, and that acronym for Intensive Motivational Program of Alternative Correctional Treatment. So a lot of my background in substance abuse came from the IMPACT program.
Yeah.
And I left corrections in 2017, came to Capital Area and worked with the ARS department, did that for about a year, and then I moved to CARP, which we of course know is Capital Area Recovery Program.
That's right.
And I am a licensed clinical social worker. I'm also a board-approved clinical supervisor, which means that I can also supervise those coming into the field. Those are in school that need that supervision to understand the field and to do this job. So that's where I'm at. And in my main duties, of course, at CARP, I work as a clinician working with those with addictions. And I love it. I've always had a love for this type of work.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where I'm at.
Awesome. That's a mouthful, Miss Tammy.
yes. I'm a dinosaur.
22 years in corrections?
Yes, 22 years.
Ooh, Lord.
By the grace of God.
I can imagine in 22 years working in corrections, just personally, how did you manage to make it through 22 years and maintain who you are in the process?
Okay. First, by the grace of God. Having that guidance through God is a definite need for me. I've also been blessed to have very good mentors who taught me the field, taught me the do's and don'ts. And one of the main duties or main things they taught me to keep boundaries. And boundaries was a necessary part of not only my professional life, but my personal life.
Yes.
Working with people, it is very easy to get kind of emotionally involved in their issues.
It is.
And it's not that you don't have feelings, but you need to keep them in check.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. So that was a big part of my growing up in the correctional field. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a background. And you need to understand you're there for a job. You're there to help. Emotionally involved, you're not helping that client nor yourself. Yeah. And that's why I was able to keep 22 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And keep my sanity
as
well.
That's good.
Yeah. So.
And I asked that because, here at Capital Area, I've worked as a peer support specialist.
Yes.
And the work that we do on that grant, we work in the East Baton Rouge Parish Jail.
Right.
And so being in that environment, I see how easy it is for individuals who are working there, whether they are in a therapeutic capacity or a guard or whatever it may be.
Right.
Like people, I believe a lot of times people come there with the best intentions.
Yes.
And the environment has a way of changing you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it does.
And
yes,
if you don't watch it, like even the best person, like you can have the best intentions, and it's like you said, you really have to have a sense of knowing how to set boundaries.
Yes.
And you know, X, Y, and Z, right?
Correct.
But yeah. So that's great to know.
Yeah.
But so look, we're gonna go ahead and move into this thing. So let me rewind, because I don't think I told the people, whether you know it or not know, however you say that. Look, the month of April is Alcohol Awareness Month, and so we want to talk a little bit about alcoholism, and just kind of dive into that for more from a professional aspect, and really talk to you because you are the professional. Yes. And so I'm that peer support specialist who has a background of using, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
yes,
I definitely have a lot of experience, with drugs and alcohol. So for someone out there, who may not have the knowledge, help us to understand alcoholism and what differentiates, because a little bit of everybody drinks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
for the most part.
how do you know if you're an alcoholic, though? Yeah.
Okay. Well, we know that alcohol is everywhere. And if you know history of alcohol, it was once prohibited.
Yep.
And people have their own viewpoints and whatnot about alcoholism, but we now consider it a substance use disorder.
Yes.
And that's important to know, because one of the things people struggle with being labeled. I don't want to be labeled a drunk, an alcoholic.
Yep.
And I think many people who do have the problem, the substance use disorder, they struggle with that. And in our culture, alcohol's everywhere.
Yes.
It's not a party unless there's some Bacardi or there's some vodka.
That's right.
And what I tell my clients, one of the chief things that will differentiate you from a casual drinker, social drinker, as we say, versus someone with that use disorder, is how it affects your daily life. I can say I can drink and be okay, but the key is, if I take the drink away, how do you function? Or do you function?
That's good.
And that's part of what I begin to discuss with the clients. You can go to happy hour with your coworkers, and you go home and you sleep and do whatever. But what happens when happy hour becomes a necessity versus just something to do?
Yeah.
And many times, many people don't see the difference.
Yeah, come on.
As long as I keep a job, pay my bills, I don't do anything illegal, I'm good. What's the problem? But when it affects where you can't sleep at night unless you drink, when you tend to get irritated, frustrated, when you can't get your drink, when you go to a function, a wedding, a whatever, and there's no alcohol, oh, I'm leaving. This ain't a party. So those are things that I try to emphasize with clients. It's not so much how much you drink or what you drink, it's about how it affects your daily living. And when we get to that level, that's when people start to, well, maybe there is a problem, That's
good.
And one of the things that I enjoy about my job, when I first meet a client and I do that behavioral health assessment, many times, well, man, I don't really have a problem.
You're right.
I'm just here because, and fill in the blank, I say, okay, well, so be it. You're here. So we're going to go from there. And then as they sit in class and I discuss things and my coworkers discuss their subjects, the next week, well, ma'am, I heard what you said or whoever said, and, well, maybe there is a problem. And then the light bulbs go off.
That's good.
And that's when yes, let me help you. Let me let you help yourself.
That's good.
And then that's where we go.
Yeah. And I believe that definitely comes from this experience that you have, because that approach does take some knowledge, you know what I'm saying, because there's an intentional approach. And we know, like in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and how it says, we can't diagnose anyone, you know what I'm saying, alcoholic or addict, whatever it may be.
Correct.
But my belief has always been, in my experience, is that if you just present the truth, just present the facts, and allow people to make that conscious decision for themselves.
Correct.
Now, you're going to have a conviction. You can fight against it,
correct,
or you can go with it.
Yes.
But you're not going to be able to deny truth.
Correct. Yes.
Yes,
you can try.
You can try.
But it usually doesn't work out in your favor.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So tell me this. Let's speak more from a age standpoint. standpoint, what do you see when it comes to alcoholism or substance use disorder dealing with alcohol? Is there a particular age group that we're dealing with, a particular demographic? Is it like a little bit of everybody? When it comes to those that are walking through your door, is there like a pattern or some kind of trend that you're seeing when it comes to age, male, female, race, whatever, or is it just kind of all over the place?
Well, basically, the population that I feel is more with that substance use disorder with alcohol is 40 and above.
Okay.
I find the younger generation, when I say younger, I'm gonna say under 30. Alcohol is not really their thing, if I can say it like that.
Yeah.
Now, alcohol has been a staple throughout my career, and as far as age group and demographics and race and whatnot, pretty much it's a staple for all groups.
Yes.
But it is typically with the older generation. So when I say older, I don't mean old. I'm saying those born before the 70s. That seems to be the main population that has that issue. More than likely someone that has a cocaine addiction. Drinking is a part of that.
That's right.
My clients taught me best.
Yes.
If I do drink, if I do use cocaine, I can stay off the cocaine. But if I go and drink, I'm going right back to cocaine.
You want back to it? Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And I've had just about every client that has a cocaine addiction said the same thing. It don't have to be. It could be a beer. A beer, not a 6-pack, not a 12-pack. A beer.
Yeah.
I'm going back to cocaine.
Yeah.
So that is a staple with drug use as far as alcohol use. But as far as culture-wise, I find both African American, Caucasian, Hispanic.
Yeah.
It seems to be cross-cultural.
Yeah, understand.
I know in my studies, the Native American population has been hit heavily with alcoholism. Many have died due to alcoholism. But due to the Native American culture of keeping things within that culture, you don't really have an opportunity to treat a lot of Native American culture, which is unfortunate, but hopefully we can expand that over time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's more of a staple with, I would say, like I say, those born before the 70s. That seems to be the population most affected.
I understand.
Yeah.
So let's dive into how you speak of it being in regards to Native American population, how many have died, as a result of alcoholism, and so and just even beyond that. A lot of people may not know unless they have experienced or seen someone go through it, how severe the withdrawals and things of that from alcohol can be.
Yes.
So kind of talk about that, because a lot of people may not even know what goes on from a physiological standpoint when it comes to dealing with alcohol.
Okay. Alcohol, of course, is a depressant, which some people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Many times when a person drinks, their mood and attitude changes, and people think it's a stimulant, but it's really not. So alcohol affects your nervous system.
Yes. And
so long-term use, there will be opportunity where you will have nerve damage, possibly permanently. There's a possibility for seizures, which is one of the things when someone comes to our agency, we determine if they have a seizure background, which can be caused by excessive alcoholism. Cirrhosis is also a long-term effect. But as far as withdrawal, shaking, trembling, sweating, sometimes unsteady walk, nausea, another one, throwing up. People who drink too much, they start throwing up, and that's also a side effect. But also the emotional part, irritability, can't really focus, can't concentrate. You seem to struggle with just day-to-day tasks, like I said earlier. So those are the things that you want to look for. You drink, you wake up, of course you may have a hangover, but long term, this becomes a norm. I drink, go throw up, I go to sleep. I drink, I throw up, I go to sleep. When that becomes a norm, those type of patterns, a problem exists. Whether you want to believe it or not.
That's right.
A problem exists, you know. Many times, those in the general public getting drunk, getting inebriated. That's norm. That's what you do. If you worked all week and you had a bad week, hey, going to the bar, going to the party, that's what I do.
That's right.
And that's your choice. However, be aware consequences will happen.
That's right. That's right. That's good.
Yeah.
So tell me this, when it comes to just identifying, treatment options and things of that nature, what is out there for somebody that's maybe watching this right now and they're dealing with, alcoholism, or they realize that they now have a problem? What options are there? Like, how does one pursue treatment, or is there even from a MTA standpoint, MAT standpoint, is there treatment, for alcohol? Like what are the options out there?
Okay. Well, let me start by saying this. One of my clients taught me a real lesson recently. When he first came to CARP, he seemed to be nervous about coming in. So over time, I told him that. I said, I noticed when you first came, you were very hesitant. I said, what was wrong? What was going on? He said, ma'am, I was really afraid to come in. I'm like, what do you mean afraid? He said, ma'am, when I came to treatment, when I came to CARP, I had a very enlightenment about, I'm letting my family down. I need to be working. I need to be earning a living. I can't come to treatment. I can't be away from my family for 28 days, not pay bills, not be there with my family. He said, I really feel I was letting them down. And that was my fear. And that's why I was hesitant. I said, so what made you decide to come through those doors? He said, I know that I needed the help. I know I needed to be better, to be a better brother, husband, father to my family.
Yes.
So I said, that's interesting. And I used that as part of my talk to the clients. So help is out there. There's always AA, NA. However, if you feel you need another level, of course, outpatient could be an option. Inpatient might be a necessity, but you need to make that first step. I can appreciate a family member kind of pushing you to that point. I respect that. If I'm a family member and I've seen you drink and things are just going downhill, hey, you need to do something or else. But like you said earlier, if I'm not being truthful to me, then I need to be aware the consequences are going to mount.
That's right.
So inpatient is available, outpatient available. Price should not be or a fee should not be your concern.
That's right.
There's always ways to address not having insurance, not having money. We want you to get the help. The help is out there. You can Google, you can call. There's always opportunity. But again, you have to want to make that change. So yes, the help is there. Just look for it.
Gotcha. One last thing, if there is something that we can say to this. So let's just say there's a person out here, which I think are like probably many people out here. Once again, we are in Louisiana.
Yes.
And in Louisiana, alcohol is like just synonymous with every activity you can think of. I mean, crawfish, Mardi Gras, all the festivals we have. I mean, the strawberry, the whatever, like alcohol is everywhere, And so because it's such a norm, what do you say to that person that feels like, well, if it's so bad, why is it like just everywhere? It's a part of everything. It's glamorized, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's so normal. My mama does it. My daddy does it. I grew up around it. Like, what's so bad about it? What is something that you could say to that person, or is there something that you can say to that person?
Oh, yes, yes, definitely. Yes, that is one of the biggest challenges of my job. Ma'am, it's everywhere. You go to Walmart, it's there. You go to the dollar store, it's there. What do? I said, well, that's when you need to make some real hard decisions for yourself. I tell my clients all the time, who you hang around has a lot to do with your successes or your failures.
That's good.
Anything, not just with recovery. When we look at our choices in life, who was in our corner when we needed that help?
Yeah.
Who was there when we were at our lowest? Who was there when we needed them to guide us? Okay. So I tell clients, even your family, just say you could be in the house with someone that could be a negative influence.
Yeah.
So you live there, you can't really leave. So what do? Well, you have to make some choices, such as maybe you can leave until the craving dies down.
That's good.
Maybe you can call someone. I tell people, find someone you can call. I say, you don't have to call and say, oh, I'm struggling. Just call and say, hey, man, how was that game last night? Hey, man, the weather's really nice. We should get our kids together and go do a picnic. Do something to get your mind away from it.
Yeah.
As far as the environment of parties and weddings, then be aware that if you do go, be aware if you start getting some type of feeling, some type of craving, excuse yourself and leave.
That's good.
Many people don't do that. They feel I'm taking the easy road out. I should stay there and just let it not bother me. It's going to bother you.
That's right.
And knowing it's going to bother you, then be prepared when you do feel the urge. Just leave. Just excuse yourself and leave, or just leave. Don't excuse you. Just leave. And if somebody questions where you're going, then if that person cares about you, they'll understand.
Yeah.
They know that you're struggling right now. Being around this environment is not healthy, so they'll be okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I would tell somebody. Yes, you can't get away from it. It's everywhere.
Yep.
But you have to make some decisions. I tell my clients, make goals for yourself. You go into the grocery store, you're going to pass the alcohol aisle.
Come on.
Go another way.
That's good.
It might be inconvenience, but it's better than you getting tempted.
That's right.
Because nobody's going to stop you at the store. So that's the advice I would give someone.
I love that, Miss Tammy, because as a person in recovery, it's like we learn that we have to be very intentional, especially with and I always say with alcohol, dealing with marijuana. Those are two things that literally you can walk out your door and you're going to smell,
yes.
you're going to see it. You can't get away from it. You know
correct,
what I'm saying?
Correct.
And so, but you can be very intentional about making plans and putting boundaries in between you and those places
correct.
that are more danger zones. So
yes.
if you know that, okay, I can go in the grocery store. Yeah, like you said, maybe you have to go on another aisle, but you may have to go to the grocery store.
Correct.
The club, that's I don't have to go to the club.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Now, if I want to have a good time, there's many different ways I can have a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so I know even for me, I had to learn that it's like, okay, well, I was young coming into recovery, so it was like I still have a lot of energy. I want to have fun. I want to socialize, but I have to now be very conscious about where I choose to go because as one of my old counselors, well, not my counselor, but counselor I used to work with, she used to say, you're going to go out there and put yourself in the lines then with pork chop drawers on. You know what I'm saying? And so to avoid putting yourself in that kind of situation, it's like, okay, let me assess. Like now recovery taught me, what are my motives? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Why do I want to go here? I was a young man, so it may be to meet women. Okay, well, if you want to meet women, there's many other places you can go.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to go here to where you're going to jeopardize or possibly jeopardize your recovery.
Correct.
And you may go and you may make it out. But the point is, you don't want to build that, whatever the word is, I'm looking for that pattern of thinking that, oh, I'm okay, I can go back.
Right, that's tolerance. Yeah, you think that the first time I do it, nothing happened. Second time, nothing happened, so I'm good.
Yes.
But as we all say, you keep going to the barbershop.
You're going to get that haircut.
You're going to get a haircut.
Get faded.
Yes. And I think one of the challenges, other than it's everywhere, being around people who challenge your thinking. Man, go to the club. You're a grown man.
Yeah.
You should be able to go there and not let that tempt you. Or people that will put a beer in the front of someone and say, if you really are in recovery, that beer should not bother you.
Right.
And and I say things like that to the clients, and they start sitting up. It's like, this is part of my problem.
Yeah.
The people care about me, but they're ignorant to what I'm going through. And ignorant does not mean dumb or stupid.
Yes.
It means not understanding,
not
knowing.
Yeah.
Right. So I try to use practical examples
to
make them better understand. And one of the things I truly miss with CARP before COVID, we had family group. And we invited family to the meetings, and they were able to get a better understanding and picture
That's good.
of what it means for someone to go through substance use disorder. And it opened so many doors for people to better appreciate what they could and could not do for that person. Hopefully we'll get back to that, but I know with COVID we just can't take those chances. Too much is going on.
Yes, ma'am.
But yeah, the family member, educating yourself about this, listening to your loved one. Sometimes we want to talk too much and not listen. And if we can start communicating better, this is why I can't go to the wedding. This is why I can't go to whatever. Not making it feel like they're wrong. You know, I just have these limitations.
That's good.
And those limitations are going to be necessary for me to stay on the right track.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
If I can, I like to tell a story. I tell a story about how relapse can be so easy, and I use Krispy Kreme. And I tell the client, I love donuts. I don't need a donut, but I love donuts.
Yeah.
And I say, let's say I decide I'm going to go get me a cup of coffee at Krispy Kreme. I say, now, I don't care. I could be on Plank Road where Krispy Kreme is.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass some place that sells coffee, but I'm determined to go to Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
And so I go through a whole scenario about me going in there and no donuts, just coffee. And I'm looking at the donuts, smelling the donuts, watching people eat donuts. But I'm not going to have a donut. And I say to the clients, how long before I'm going to get a donut?
That's
oh,
right.
ma'am, you're going to. Exactly. This is my point. I said, I relapsed the moment I decided I'm going to Krispy Kreme for a donut.
Bam.
That's where I need to get the clients to understand. Relapse never, ever begins when you put the chemical back in your body.
Come on.
Your thought patterns,
That's right.
your behavior patterns, you're leading up to it. It may not happen that day or that moment, but you keep playing with the fire, you're going to get burned.
That's right. That's right.
So they really tend to understand that better.
Yeah.
When you hang around or associate with those who, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and that's fine. But understand you have those limitations. And you need to appreciate your limitations are going to be necessary for your recovery.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Man, this has been great. I don't know if y'all have got any value from this. You should have. If you were listening, I'm pretty sure you got something from this, you know what I'm saying? And once again, because we are in Louisiana, I believe everybody should be able to look at this video and either realize something for themselves or maybe help you to realize something that will help you within the family dynamic, you know what I'm saying, if you have a family member that's struggling or dealing with alcoholism. And so, Ms. Tammy, look, we want to thank you for coming through and blessing and gracing us today with your knowledge, wisdom, experience, everything that you bring to the table. And to land this plane, also, let's definitely plug in CARP. If you are dealing with any form of substance use disorder, we, like you said, the outpatient is available here at Capital Area Human Services. But if you need something more intensive, we have, well, at least for males, we have a 28-day all males inpatient facility, and that's where Miss Tammy is, and along with other great counselors. So we want to thank y'all, man, for stepping back into the area. Look, we promise that we are going to try to do our best to stay on track. I know we missed a couple months, but look, y'all just be patient with us, man. Look, this is a new thing for us, so we trying to stay in the groove and get in the groove, man. We trying to find our groove, all that good stuff, right? But anyways, man, thank y'all once again. Look, next month it's going down, man. We got something special in store for y'all. Well, I ain't gonna let the tea out yet, but just know it's gonna be good. You heard me? Anyways, man, look, y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next episode.